Hello there, Virgo. How are you guys doing today? Let's do a quick check-in and see how you're doing. Now, this is a little bit different. Let's do a love check-in, a love reading. So we've got this first guy here that's popped up. Now, someone has asked me to do a quick love reading, so that's what we're going to do today. So hopefully you guys are all also on the same page. So I can start doing more of these, kind of varying them a little bit if you'd like. Because I know that I tend to do a lot of general readings because I don't like to, have anybody feel left out. So I do a lot of general readings, but somebody did request a love reading. So this one is for all of you. All right, here we go. Bottom of the deck. Wow, we're starting off really strong here. The King of Cups. So you have the energy around you right now that is someone who is very balanced, both their head and their heart, someone who's got a lot of wisdom, someone who also has the history, right? So the King of Cups is someone who is the master, obviously, of this suit. And so this is someone that's had a lot of heartaches in their lives and really just has processed it to the point where it's really affected them in certain ways, but they've also gained a lot of wisdom from all of the heartaches from the past. So this is kind of nice in that, like the Page of Wands is kind of like, it's a little bit younger energy. This is more of a mature type energy. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Someone here in this relationship has a little bit more of a mature type energy, someone with a balanced heart and head. All right, here we've got the Ten of Wands. So someone is very, it's got a lot of responsibilities and is willing to really take on quite a bit of just the burdens of day-to-day life. And maybe someone here, there's an imbalance in the relationship's responsibilities. Maybe someone here is giving a little bit more than the other individual. But definitely this can be also if you are working together with an individual, you're both working towards a certain goal. And it depends on really what else comes up here in the cards, because if, say, for example, you're working towards improving your relationship or starting a family, this tells me here that you are nearing completion. You're going to reach that goal here eventually. But let's see what else the cards have to say, so that way we can put the pictures together. It's hard to determine what's going on here, with just two cards. Now we've got a third card here. So there's grief, like a lot of loss and regret. Someone has done something that is very regretful and is having a really hard time kind of letting go. And the thing here is that universe is trying to tell you here that though you may have messed up, right? One of you has messed up in this situation, you can't change the past, right? And you certainly can't continue to punish yourself for it forever. Instead, make the choice of whether or not you're going to continue the relationship and how you're going to continue the relationship. Be grateful for what remains in the relationship between the two of you. But definitely lots of grieving here. Someone here has felt a certain level of loss that they feel is unrecoverable. Instead, what needs to happen here is to take a pause, a short pause, whether it's just, taking a break for the day or the afternoon, or even just whatever, however you guys define the pause. But really the point here is that someone here needs to see things from a different perspective. Really, whenever there's a relationship between two people and you have loss, there can be blame that happens. And so by stopping and taking a pause here and seeing things differently and really being more mature and getting your head straight first rather than going on the attack, instead you've got the King of Cups here who's going to be a little bit more measured with their feelings. So by taking that break, you're going to see things from a different perspective and perhaps start to show appreciation for what remains in the relationship. One of you is going to have to let go. One of you is going to choose to walk away or let go of what has happened. So again, it's about this choice. Do you choose the relationship? Do you choose to continue the relationship? Whatever it is that remains in the relationship, do you choose this or do you choose what remains? And here, you'll have to really go within and use your intuition to determine what it is about this relationship that no longer serves you. Now, if you're choosing to let go and walk away because things have gone too far, right, then that's what is going to happen here. One of you is going to make a choice here to leave behind something that is no longer serving you. Whether it's the memory, it's almost like a forgive the person and let go, or it's like it's too far gone and there's just no recovering from it. I'd rather start something new on the other side. Yeah, and again, we've got choices here, number 2. And then this is also about, in the near future, planning and strategizing that when you leave a current situation, when you leave something behind that is no longer serving you, you're seeing the potential in the future. You're seeing that perhaps the relationship, if you are truly leaving the relationship, you're seeing that the world is open to you and that you can really make something out of your life. Another way to interpret this is that if you forgive the loss, if you forgive this grieving situation here, whatever has happened in the past, if you forgive, then you start to see that the relationship can literally go to the next level. Go to the next level and really take on a different form. Yeah, another choice here. So you're trying to create balance here in the relationship. One of you is trying to create balance from the turbulence that's going on in the background, and you're having to make a choice, this or that. You're kind of at a crossroad. Do I let go? Do I let go of what's happened and the pain from the past and really pick up these 2 cups and go my merry way and do something with it, or do I stay? What do I do? Right? You're kind of in that situation. So use your intuition, go within. Now you see the Hanged Man here is enlightened. And again, that's part of that taking a pause is really looking at things very differently. Yeah, there's been a big fight where it was literally just words were used and there was no way of changing someone's way of thinking. It became a very one-sided argument where one person felt like they needed to win the argument, and there was just such an imbalance of power. Now, the Queen of Pentacles here is showing that there is some level of nurturing. Someone here is trying to be sensible, and that's where this taking a pause works, right? Because sometimes when you're in the thick of things, it's really hard to be very sensible. The Queen of Pentacles, your energy this is actually Capricorn, but it's an earth energy here, and this is how you're coming in. You're having to make a choice here, trying to juggle things in your physical world. And here, you're presenting as an earth energy, someone that is very generous and caring, someone that's comforting and practical, trying to, almost sort out the mess. Right? But be very careful here, because if you're being very one-sided and that you are taking on too much of the burden, that can lead to burnout and physical illness, right? Mental and spiritual as well. So the 3 of Pentacles in this situation is, this can represent structure, creating structure and collaborating, working together in the relationship. This is towards the end. So if you are making this choice here to leave behind the pain and the grief, and starting something new or elevating the relationship, the good thing is that this is a very collaborative, working together, teamwork, very sensible energy here, very grounded energy. There's lots of choices, definitely, lots of choices in which way to go. If you are choosing really to elevate the relationship or reconcile, right now you're feeling as though there's just so many choices. What do we do here in this situation? And I wouldn't be surprised if you got like the Hierophant or something like that, because then you would have to seek advice from someone else, like an elder, somebody who's got some wisdom and some advice. But definitely someone here is being very sensible and also very loving. This is good. This is, yeah, look at that. So you've got the 3 of Pentacles and then the 3 of Swords. Lots of heartache here. I'm so sorry. So what is the lesson here? Was there a third party? With the 3s here, I worry that there is a third party situation. Person, place, or thing, definitely. So betrayal. What I mean by person, place, or thing is, sure, it could be a third party situation and that there is another individual that the person committed to or went to, or one of you did. But third party can also be like the individual gave so much of themselves to their job, to their schooling, to their studies, to the point where you didn't come first, right? The other person didn't come first. They came second. So that's the third party, right? That, in other words, the person's energy was parceled because they were taking on so much, right? If it was about studies or work, because there's lots of responsibility, stress, and overwhelm that the other person felt left out. Knight of Cups. So someone here is coming forward, maybe with an apology or just an offering of love. Someone here is trying to reconcile and come together. But, the situation here is that, are you willing? Are you willing And I say you, I mean, obviously the energies here can flip-flop and apply it as you need to, but definitely someone here is offering love. You see that, the cups. Lots of worry and anxiety here. So again, this comes down to choice, having a choice. So you have a choice to lay in bed or sit in bed and live in this darkness, but a lot of it is in your mind, right? And the what's keeping you in this situation here is you're constantly repeating what has happened, this trauma and drama from the past. You're literally repeating it over and over to the point where it's just absolute sadness, and it's got you trapped in this bed. So universe is trying to tell you these are self-inflicted like this negativity, this pessimism that's happening here. What universe wants you to know is that you're going to have to deal with every single one of these. Go within, take a pause, go within yourself and really understand what is it. I mean, it's one thing to be betrayed, right? But there's something deeper there, right? And that's going to be up to you whether or not you're going to be able to forgive or if you're going to walk away. But this mental anguish of reliving this nightmare every day, that becomes your choice, right? Because you can either choose to let go, move forward, or you can choose to stay and expand the relationship better, work on communication, work on different ways to deal with this grief, right? Because you're going to have to deal with this. This is not something that can be swept under the rug, because it'll come back and haunt you forever. But definitely here, there has to be a lot of communication, because this one-sided argument, this one-sided thinking here where this person took all the swords of the others, this imbalance here is not, in other words, you've got to almost just build that bridge back up. And how you're going to do that is through communication. Learn the lessons from all of the betrayal and the pain that's happened in the past, and create structure in your relationship. If that is what you are trying to do, is reconnect and solidify the relationship. But definitely someone here is very loving and very giving. I don't see anything that's very antagonistic, and that would, like you get the feeling like this is probably not going to happen. Look at that, Judgment is underneath the King of Cups. So once you both reconcile or choose to come back together, right, and heal from all of this pain and this conflict and this grief here, okay, this grief and conflict, once you have reconciled, once you've awakened from that nightmare, what will happen is you will have spiritual awakening, and then you can really choose to expand your relationship and take it to another level in however way you choose, because there's so many choices, right? It's almost like it's like a clean slate starting over, and then you've got so many options. What do you do here? But definitely the good thing is that I think both sides are willing to work together in healing this relationship, but it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take effort from both sides so that both parties are seeing things very differently, right? That forgiveness, that doesn't come easily. So yeah, King of Wands. So it's going to happen. The King of Wands here is going to be the person that gets things done. The leader, the visionary, is going to be the fuel that's going to allow this decision to be made. And then the Death card here tells me this relationship or this individual is going to go through a major transformation, because you can't stay here. You can't stay in this state of despair and nightmare every day. That's not going to work, right? That's just a miserable life. But yeah, victory is yours, and use your inner strength. Yeah, you're going to fight this battle. If you choose to fight for this relationship, you're going to have to draw within and use your inner strength. This isn't going to be normal handling of challenges where there's conflict and you're butting heads. That's not going to work. You're going to have to see things very differently and apply a different a different strategy in handling this challenge. All right, let's pull a couple of more cards and see what else you need to know. We've got that popped out, Queen of Swords. So someone here is coming in and having some clarity, but also the Queen of Swords is the person that's going to be very cutthroat when it comes to the words. So be very careful. If this is your energy of the Queen of Swords, where you're coming in and you're very quick with your words, be very careful, because you're going to end up right back where you started, because this is your communication. This is where your way of thinking. You may be very honest and very fair and objective in what you have to say. However, it can hurt, especially if you're dealing with a King of Cups energy and the Knight of Cups energy. These people love to be in love, and when you take that away from them by cutting them with words, it's gonna end up here and here, and then communication breaks down. Oh, look at that. It flipped over. The Emperor. Yeah, someone here is going to have to take control of the situation, because a lot of times what happens is the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups, they're a little bit more, they don't like confrontation, right? And the thing is someone here is going to have to take control of the situation, be very level-headed, be very fair, be very honest, but be very fair, but try to be a little bit more diplomatic and not too painful. Like, don't communicate so painfully to the point where, you know, everything breaks down all over again. The good thing is the Queen of Swords is a Libra card, and so Libras are known to be a little bit more diplomatic and fair. So just watch your words. The Hermit. This is your card, Virgo, right? So the Hermit, once again. So it's good that the Hermit is here, because the Hermit signifies, I mean, this is you. This is the Virgo card. So this tells me here, once again, it's reiterating itself to take a pause and see things, you know, go within, right? So that you can see things from a different perspective. King of Swords. So now you've got the pair here. So both of you might be a little bit very strategic with your words, and also just kind of cutting with your words. So just be very careful here with communication. Bottom of the deck. Look at that Ace of Pentacles. So you do have a new opportunity to start a new path with this individual. Whatever conflict and heartache was brought about here, this grief, this sadness, I think once you make the choice here, once you make the choice to act, you know, to either stay in the relationship and leave behind the pain of the past, or leave the relationship altogether, know that there's something here that's going to open up your world. But I have a feeling you're both going to try to reconcile and work on the relationship and offer love and comfort to one another here. So, but definitely there's going to be some choices here that's going to be made, and also you've got new opportunities that's happening here. So let's take a look. Dreams. Look to your dreams. They hold all the answers you seek. Emotional baggage can weigh down relationships. Unpack it. Yeah, so that has to do with this, right? So this grief, remember I said, if you're going to let go and forgive, you're going to have to unpack. You're going to have to go within. All right, let's see if we got a couple more. Mask. Hiding true feelings, pretending and deluding, gaslight and personify. So sometimes the King of Cups can, you know, wear a mask too, because they don't like to be hurt. Same thing with the Knight of Cups. They're not going to show you that you've hurt them, right? They're just, you just kind of get that vibe, you get that feeling underneath. So let's take a look here. See if there's any other messages you need to know. Pay attention to signs. The synchronicities you have been noticing are not coincidences. Open yourself to others. This is how you will create new friendships and attract a love. Yeah, so if you are choosing to walk away from this relationship, remember to open yourself up to others so you don't miss out. Difficulties. Jealousies from others may serve as obstacles to the success of this connection. So be very careful. Look around you, right? If you truly want this relationship to flourish, look around, make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who truly want you guys to be together. Bottom of this deck, third-party situation, just like I was saying here. Other people may be interfering with this relationship and dimming its full potential. So yeah, so remember earlier I'd said third-party situation, so that may be the situation there, and also that difficulty because you may be around people who don't necessarily want you guys to stay together. All right, Virgo, thank you so much for being here. I hope you got something out of this. I know that this was super general with regards to love, but it was directed towards love, but I can specify a little bit more in the future. But yeah, I just wanted everybody to be included. Hopefully you got some answers out of this. Have a great day. Remember, communicate with each other. That is the key. Give compassion and compromise. All right, that's the best way, and come at it from a heart base. All right, have a great day, guys. Talk to you later. I love you. Bye-bye.